up, YouTube? This is your host, King Gio, once again, going to training. Well, anyway, today I wanted to talk to you on a little short journey that I'm going to training. Male vasectomy. As you know, this past week, there was a leak saying that Supreme Court Judge Alito in his draft was going to overturn Roe versus Wade. And there's a big uproar in this country about Roe versus Wade. Because what it does is that it gives the power back to the states and they let them deal with it. And what it does is that it gives the Republicans, these red states, an opportunity to make abortion illegal so they can draft, so they can make it illegal in a federal state, in a federal level. And that means that you don't get to abort if it was to happen. If your child gets raped, you can't abort. If your child gets pregnant by incest, you can't abort. So, one of the reasons that they're doing this, and if you guys haven't noticed, that you are aware that in the few censuses that they have, the census is every 10 years, the white population has been going down.
In a quarter mile, turn left to stay on US 311 South.
And it's gone down. And they don't want their populations to go down. So it's like a little bit of China. Remember when China at one time didn't let you have 2 kids, only let you have 1? So now they want you to procreate. And they want the white race to procreate because their race is getting down. They might not tell you, but you may say, "Oh, conspiracy." No, but this is the truth, guys. This is what it is. They want to hold you down so you don't abort. So they don't care what race has these families, especially the white people. They don't care if they're rich. They don't care if they're poor. They don't care if they're poor and they can't afford health insurance. They don't care if they can afford to feed their child. They don't care how the children are being brought up, as long as the white race dominates, and that's all they care about. And that's why they're doing it. And the Republican Party is no longer the Republican Party, man. It's just a party. It's not for the people. It's for themselves. And when I'm talking about male vasectomy, what am I talking about male vasectomy today? It's because we are always putting the blame on the woman. The woman. The woman has, she has no rights to her own body. She cannot abort. She cannot do this. She cannot do that. But yet, it takes 2 to tango. It takes, so why are we always blaming? Not blaming. Why are we always trying to punish the woman for something that her and a man did? All right. So if 2 people go into a bank and those 2 people rob the bank, they both get charged for the same crime, right? So why can't you do the same? If a woman is going to have an abortion and she has an abortion, well, why don't you blame the man too? Why don't you sue him? Why don't you have him arrested? Because I don't see any laws stating if the woman has that child, from the minute that fetus or embryo, whatever you want to call it, it's inside the womb, you or the father have to pay child support. Regardless. Why is that not done? Because men get away with a lot of things. They impregnate a woman, they leave, poof, they vanish out of thin air, and they don't have to be in the kid's life. And then who takes that child? Who's the one that raises that child alone? Who's the one that feeds that child? Who's the one that clothes that child? The woman, all by herself. Unless she gets a man that's willing to take care of her and take her for who she is and accept her child, and then he raises it or her, which I applaud those men who do that. I've been there. Why can't that be done? Why are we blaming the woman all the time? A man has to be held responsible. Just because they say, "Oh, child support," but child support when? When do you start paying child support? I'm paying child support for a kid that's not even mine, and that's the honest to God truth. God is my witness. I had to go to the 23rd of this month to New York to find out what's going to happen because my story is long. My story was my wife at that time had cheated on me, And when she came back, I didn't know she was pregnant. And I was, and I was in New York. And then when I was in New York, my mother and my family, well, especially my mom, kept asking me, Gio, go take the HIV test. Go take the HIV test. I'm like, why? Why I gotta take the HIV test? When I came back from New York, because I wanted to get away from things, I said, wait a minute. Why are you guys asking me? So I felt something. To make a long story short, I went and I got myself an HIV test, and it came out positive. And I knew it was gonna come out positive because someone already told me that my ex-wife at that time, had done the HIV test in a clinic. And that clinic, even though they violated HIPAA laws, that clinic told my sister-in-law at that time, because she was the head nurse, and the head nurse told my mom, but no one told me. So I went to Puerto Rico, got tested, got positive. I asked her, I said, yo, are you positive from HIV? She goes, no, I'm not. I said, are you sure? No, I'm not. Because I took my HIV test, and I'm supposed to get my results in a few days. The following day, she was in my house with her bags. I already knew she was pregnant because she told me 2 weeks before. We weren't living together. She got left with the guy. And then she came to me. She goes, yeah, I know I'm positive about it. I know. So what you mean you didn't know? Because Puerto Rico says reactive and non-reactive. Hers came reactive. She goes, I didn't know what reactive means. Like, what do you mean you don't know what reactive means? Of course you know what reactive means. You don't know what reactive means. You can't be that stupid. So I said to myself, no, I cannot do this. I cannot go around spreading what I have. So I told her, let's go to New York and we'll take a chance and see if it works out between us. Because you have it, I have it. Let's just both keep it together. And she said okay, and then she's like, I don't want nothing to know about the baby's father, because what she did was this. She when she found out she was HIV positive, she never told her that kid's father. What she did was she went to a psych ward, but the psych ward did not take her. She didn't want to tell them. For what reason, I don't know. So she came to me, and then she was like, okay, fine. But he wasn't allowed in my house. So we came to New York. In New York, I moved mountains, bro. I moved mountains for the HIV program to give us housing. Because there was a long waiting list. And I said, listen, I can't be in this person's house. And I was adamant about it. And I was there every day. Until finally the guy, the head said, you know what? Go look for yourself an apartment. Because I see that you need it and you're here every day. And that means you're adamant about it. I like that. So within a month, they got us an apartment. Within a month, they got us an apartment. And things weren't going well between her and I. She didn't want the relationship. And then she had her baby. And then I, stupid, because I thought I was going to be with her, I gave her my last name and I signed it. Right? I made sure the doctors talked to us about the HIV, that every child that's born, every child that has a mother who has HIV is born with HIV. And then after a few months after you give him or her medication, that child becomes HIV negative. The HIV gets away from the body because they have their own immune system. At the beginning, they're working with mom immune system. And once they have their own immune system, they have so little viral loads that it just flushes it out because you give them the medication every day. And that medication prevents the HIV virus from multiplying. So that's what happens. And on the 4th month, I came back to Puerto Rico, and I took care of our kid. We had a daughter together at the time. Our daughter was a year and a half. Just happened to stay in Puerto Rico. I never seen that kid ever in my life again. And then in 2016, when I go to New York to get insurance for my car, my license suspended because of child support. I went to court, and court said no because the law states this. I said, yeah, but I understand what the law says. I'm well versed in it, but I was never served in Puerto Rico. Oh, but it says here that it was certified. No, I was never served in Puerto Rico at all. And I said, trust me, if I can raise my daughter on my own and you would serve me, trust me, I would have been here a long time ago. We wouldn't even be having this conversation right now. So they paid me child support again. I took her to court for that. And then like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, while I was in court over there, in New York, the judge says, is Gio the father of the baby? She said, no. And the judge says, so why don't you go find the baby's father? You know who it is? Yes. So if you know who it is, have that man take care of his responsibilities. This way, Gio doesn't have to take care of doesn't have to take care of a child or pay for a job. That's not his. Nothing. And then my daughter spoke to her mom. My daughter's never met her mom. My mom doesn't want to meet her daughter. And my daughter told her, why don't you take dad off the child support? The bitch said, no. I never told him to sign. He gets what he gets. That's it. Here I am. I was doing her a favor. She said, I don't want the baby's father to be in my baby's life. And I said to myself, I never had a son. It's all daughters that I got. 2 daughters, 2 beautiful daughters. Look at this. Anyway, so I said to myself, I help her out, and I have a son that I can play with. I can play ball, I can do this, basketball, but not basketball, baseball, karate, and stuff like that. But it didn't work out that way. And the baby has it's not his fault that his parents are assholes. I was trying to do something good, and it bit me in the ass. So now on the 23rd, the kid's already 18, he graduated. And then on the 23rd of this month in New York, the judge is going to decide whether the child support stays or goes, because they want to get her feedback. She says she doesn't want to. She hasn't been in court yet, but I've been told that she doesn't want anything to do with the child support. She's no longer in welfare, no longer receiving food stamps. And then the Department of Social Services said, I want Mr. G to keep paying child support in the amount of $55 a month, which is not much, but until the kid turns 21 years old. And I said, the judge said, Mr. G, do you agree? I said, no, I do not agree with that, Your Honor. I don't agree with anything this man says. This man has no idea what I've been through. I'm taking care. I'm giving you, and I told her, I said, I'm giving you child support money because you told me to. If not, I wouldn't have done this. I'm paying child support for a child that's not even mine. And he wants me to pay until 21 years old? What's wrong with him? You guys never served me. You guys never did anything. You guys never did anything, no DNA, no nothing. And you, Your Honor, she told you in front of your face that the baby's not mine. So why are we doing this rodeo? Why are we still in this? So I said, well, we want to get her view on the 23rd. Come back. It's done by video, by voice, my phone, and we'll take care of it. I think I want to go out there on the 23rd and just put my side. I said, it's ridiculous. I mean, $50 is nothing, but that's $600 a year that's out of my pocket. But I can be doing something. I can feed a homeless man for that shit. A real homeless man. I can help somebody out with $600. But you're making me pay $600 a year for a child that's not mine. Because the law states, and each state's the same, that if you're married and you have a child with your wife, even though it's not yours, when you're married, and that child is conceived through marriage, you're the father. But if you want to contest that, you have to contest that with some state is different. You have to contest that in a few days, or you have a certain amount of time to contest that child is not yours. But if you let it run, you shit out of luck. And then if you're in that child's life, right? If you're in that child's life, and that child 10, 12 years old, it's going to be hard for a court to take you away from the birth certificate, because you bonded with that child. That child knows you as his or her father. So they figured they're doing what's best for the kid. And telling the kid that you're not the father, how is that going to affect the child? So they take that into consideration. But if you do it quick like I did, I didn't even do it quick, but from what I know, if you do it quick, and then the chances of, even though you're married, the chances of you getting off that birth certificate are very good. But that's another law that needs to be changed. You know how many men out there are paying child support for kids that are not theirs just because of that law right there? Yeah. So going back, so we do this vasectomy thing, and you threaten them if you don't pay child support. I mean, same way a woman has to be responsible for her own reproduction system, so should a man. So why are we always trashing the woman? The woman this, the woman that. Haven't women been through enough with no voting rights, no equal pay? Nothing. And then the funny thing is that the right wing says, oh, Planned Parenthood does this. And I keep telling you, like I did a video yesterday, Planned Parenthood does not do abortions. They don't. Okay? As a matter of fact, if you look at it statistically, Planned Parenthood has reduced the number of abortions because they educate the young men and women who go in there. They give them condom. They give them they give the women the IU thing. They give them that so this way they don't get pregnant. That's not 100% foolproof. I mean, baby proof, but at least it gives you some kind of protection. You know? Why are we talking about it now? Right now, if you look at it, the rates of HIV infections is high amongst young children. It's high amongst people the ages 14 to 24 because they're out there having sex. They're having unprotected sex because you know why it's happening? Because we have forgotten what AIDS did back in the 80s, and a lot of these young kids didn't see the face of the 80s. They didn't see how people were skinny and with scabs and looked like zombies when they had HIV or when they had AIDS. They didn't see that. If they was to see that now, you know, they'll probably go, "Oh, I'm not having sex without condom." And the states don't promote it. They promote medication, but they don't promote, you know, abstinence. They don't promote what is HIV, what HIV can do. You know, one of the reasons I don't like Magic Johnson is because of that same reason. He doesn't go out there and teach the kids. He might, but I don't see it. And if I don't see it, then oh well. And tell them about HIV. Tell them what it is. I would go with a slide to a school and say, this is what HIV was. This is what AIDS was back in the 80s. If you got AIDS, this is what you had. This is how you were going to die. Even though AIDS does not kill you. People, AIDS does not kill you. But this is what it makes you. When you get depressed, and you think you're going to die in a few months, and you get like this. This is what happens to you. This is what can happen to you. Rubber up. You know? But they don't do that. And then now, you know, they want to ban abortion. They want to tell a woman what to do with her body. And that gets me angry. And we all know that it's done because they don't want the white race to deplete. We all know that. You know, the white race never existed. It's a pigmentation. It's called evolution. I mean, if anything, it was black or dark brown. The Romans weren't white. The Romans were like my color. Brown. That's what they were. They weren't white. They were brown. Or that region of Egypt was brown or black. Africa was brown or black. You know, they did say that Jesus had hair of wool, like wool. And he had a dark toned skin. That ain't white and blue eyes to me. Po. Is that po? Is that po? No, it's not po. You know? So why do we keep going back into the 50s and the 60s? What we telling women what to do is like, oh, women's only good for the kitchen. No. A woman can't stand being president. Yes. You go to church, oh, a woman is not allowed to preach. Yes, she can. Why? Men need to be held accountable for their actions. That's very simple. Has to be held accountable for their actions. If you're in a state that abortion is not legal, then you should put a state that mandates that once that woman is pregnant, you're paying child support. Plain and simple. If a woman gets raped, she wants to get an abortion, she has that right to do so. If the woman got pregnant by a father or an uncle or a family member, she should have that right to abort. Shame on you to tell that person you cannot have an abortion. And you're doing this because it's all religious, you know, the Protestants, Pentecostals, the evangelicals, who swear up and down that they're Christians, and when they're not Christians. true God-fearing man does not allow this. Does not say, you cannot do this. No. God gave us the will to follow him or not to follow him. God gave us the will to do good or bad. The choice is ours. You know? Like I said before, you know, people say you're not giving that child a chance to live. But we're not even giving them the chance to do anything. It's like, I mean, you're saying the chance to live to what? What guarantees do we have that kid's going to become a success? None. If a girl has a baby and she's young, but if she wants to abort, then let her. That's her choice. She can have other kids. But the government is getting involved in too many of our things, too many of our affairs. And you guys who are voting these trumpets and Lindsey Graham and all these guys, Hawthorne and these stupid people, you're letting them come in and you're letting them take over the country. And when they say something on TV, you guys believe it. What I do in research, what I do in anything that a Republican says, you guys believe. And it astonishes me. And you guys don't have the equilibrium to think for yourself. It just fascinates. It baffles me, actually. It really does. You know, we live in a country. You know, I've never understood live in a country. I'm just tired of this bickering, this up and down, right wing, left wing, all this, all that. You guys got to come to the conclusion. Everybody in this country wants the same thing. But you see people that you say that universal health care. A lot of people. Or when a person says, well, when here in Europe we got universal health care, we got this, we got that. Then you have someone over here comment, yeah, but you pay like 50% in income tax. Man, first of all, they don't pay 50%. It's called a VAT tax. And that VAT tax is between 20 to 24 to 25%, which is okay though, because if you're making good money, you're getting what you paid for. Good roads, good service, good medical service. That means that if you live in Italy and you go to England and you get sick, your health care takes care of you. You can't do that here because you're out of network. Can't take care of you because we don't take your plan. Isn't that some shit? Look at that kid, the ex boy. They denied him chemotherapy because his plan didn't cover it. But he's paying out of pocket for insurance. Think about that. It's disturbing that you guys put faith on these idiots in Washington. It really is. It truly is. Most of the caucus, or most of the people in Washington are white. When have they cared for black and brown? Never. So here you go. You want them to get an abortion. You don't want them to get an abortion. But yeah, you don't want them to be on welfare. You don't want them to be on WIC. You don't want them to get Section 8. You don't want none of that. And people who complain never even fostered a child, never even adopted a child. But yet, they don't want you to abort. See? So stop being sheeps and stop following people. Stop saying, I don't wear a mask because it's my body, my choice. Stop saying, oh, I don't get vaccinated because it's my body, my choice. And then you go turn around and you say to another person, you cannot have an abortion. Yo, it's my body.